Today's video is about the 1984 Kenner Batmobile. Dun dun dun. In my opinion, this may be the greatest vehicle ever. I use this for everything. And in this video, I'm going to go over some facts, statistics, and some cool things that you may or may not know about the Kenner Batmobile. And I know this character doesn't go with him. This is not the right Batman for this one. But you gotta have a Batman in the video, right? You have to. So let's get into it. In the early 1980s, the Batman craze had quieted down since the 60s TV show. But DC Comics was keeping the Dark Knight alive through the comics, and toy companies were still banking on his popularity. Look at this. And if you click this button right here, let me show you this. It still works. You ready? Oh, yeah. And this thing has the spring where it catches the bad guy or Joker or the Penguin. But it doesn't come out too well. And then you have the lights that go up and down. The bat lights. Sweet. With the bat wheels. Is that cool or what? In 1984, Kenner Products, the same toy company that made the Star Wars figures, decided to expand their Super Powers collection. And so when they started making the figures, they needed a vehicle. I mean, how can a Batman exist without a car, right? Well, this car is a little bit more inspired by the 60s version, as you can tell. This is 5 years before Tim Burton decided to get crazy and go into it and make it that badass Batman. But you have to admit that this is one of the coolest toys ever. It had the classic twin bubble canopies, just like the 60s TV show, but a little bit more aggressive looking. There's some missile launches, I think, that came with it, right? Let's see here. Some of the facts. Popping missile launchers, a battering ram, and a working rear flap to catch bad guys. That's what it says. I'm going to have a little picture here, but Kenner Batmobile came in a very colorful box with classic comic style artwork. Batman and Robin leaping into action. Gotham skyline in the background. Yeah, isn't that right? Bruce Wayne. That battering ram is sweet. The original price on this was $9.99. A little bit different nowadays. Nowadays, this toy right here can fetch hundreds. Sometimes $600 or more. As you'll see with inside of it, I always tried to analyze what these stickers were saying. You have that looks like the thing from Price is Right, you know, the yodeler. I don't think Batman would have that, but uh-oh, that graph's going down. That's interesting. You don't want that. What else we got here? Look at this sticker. Different color buttons with the bat as the steering wheel. What boy or slash man doesn't want that? As you see, the tires never turned. But that didn't matter. It always had that clicking noise. Oh, the boosters. This is what gets the bad guy, right? I never understood that. So you could drag along the Joker, the Penguin, and Catwoman if she was bad. I mean, how could you not want this as a kid? I don't think Kenner ever published how many were sold, but this was a massive, massive success. And I think it pretty much got them through the 80s until Tim Burton put out his Batmobile, which might be the greatest Batmobile ever. When it comes to toys, I don't know. I never had that as a kid, I don't think, that I played with. I used this as the main Batmobile, even for the 89, 90 for this one. But I did have it, I think, later. I don't think I still used it as much as this one. How about you guys? Don't you still think this one's cooler? I don't know. Maybe it's because it was easier to get guys in and out of. And I could use this for other lines. I'm not sure. But so simple, so easy, and durable. Right? What's cool is it didn't have the doors that broke off or anything. Very durable for the times. And it wasn't like the kit where the door always broke. You could just throw them in and just throw them down the road. Wicked. So it's roughly 13 inches long. Alright. And I think that a lot of people realize, like, you could use it for other things. And I don't think it's really fit for just the 60s version Batman. And I think back in the day, vehicles were not this size. So this was a monster back in the day. Not compared to the 1984 or 85 Flag, of course, but that is a monster toy back then. And after reading up on it, the designers wanted this thing to take a beating. That's why they did that. And they knew kids were going to destroy stuff, so maybe that is why this has survived and it's in this good of condition. 41, 42 years old. Pretty crazy. From what I gathered, prices are affected by these stickers right here. Just those stickers alone could add tons of money. And the stickers inside of it. Hundreds of dollars difference based off of just stickers. And so from what I've been able to see, these typically go from, I believe in this condition, 50 to 150, somewhere in there. And if it's in prime time condition, where everything's working, you're talking about $600 or more. So pretty wild for those who are investors out there. I used the battering ram the most back then. What'd you guys use? And as you know, Kenner grew to fame in 1977 whenever they started producing the toys for Star Wars, so that's how they got their name. Another cool fact about it is Kenner built toys to survive kids, not collectors. One of their philosophies was create stuff that is durable, stuff that will, you know, take a beating. So that's what they focused on. Third fact that they have is Kenner mastered the art of selling imagination, not accuracy. They didn't really care about perfection, right? They didn't need it to be exactly like the movie or the show. They wanted something that was somewhat recognizable but fun to play with. So I admire them for that. It doesn't need to be exactly like anything, as long as it's fun to play with for kids. To me, you have the imagination that's the Batmobile, right? And as long as it lasts, that's what matters. Kenner also accidentally created the adult collectibles market. You know, they never really planned on the grading and the mint in box, the resale value, but by producing mass market toys with finite production runs, they created scarcity over time, which created value. And Kenner's influence absolutely lives on, even though the brand doesn't. Kenner as an independent company no longer exists, but its design standards, figure scale, play first philosophy still shape modern toy companies today. Doesn't need to be exactly like it. Just needs to be able to withstand the wars, the battles of Batman getting the Penguin and the Joker, which I'll show you some of those down the road. 1984, big year. Obviously, I think this was in the Sears catalog. Did really well probably through there. But when you pop in Batman and he's chasing the bad guys and he's ramming them. There it is again. Let's hit it one more time. Boom. Pretty wicked. Well, that's the Batmobile. I believe Kenner is second only to Hasbro with the greatest toys, because I'm a G.I. Joe guy growing up. But, man, they knew how to produce a toy that lasts. Am I right, guys? Did you have it? Let me know. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on this. Is this one of the top 5 coolest vehicles ever made for kids in the 80s? I think so. We're talking it's a little bit better than, yeah, I can't imagine anything else that beats this for kids. But up there with things like Kit, which we'll be going over someday in the future. Do you have it? Did you have it? Are you looking for it? I've seen this at a few flea markets right around the $70 to $100 range, so still popular. Phenomenal. And does yours work? Let me know. That is the 1984 Kenner Batmobile. We'll see you next time.